above. Take a chance, do it all for love and no regrets. Up ahead there's an open door, and I gotta find what I'm looking for, and I'm on my way. Well, time moves on and the days go by, but the sun don't set on the stars tonight, and I spread my wings. My head's in the clouds with my feet on the ground, my aim held high and I'm moving on. My time is now to make all my dreams come true, to let all the light shine through, so I can be everything I know that I could be, to find all the strength inside. Baby, just watch me fly. Now I have all I need to find the best in me. Well, isn't it time to open my mind and just believe? Just believe. I feel my heart beating like a drum, and I'll never rest till the victory's won, and it's alright. I light 'em up and I'll take 'em down, and I feel the rush at the speed of sound. I'll find a way to make all my dreams come true, to let all the light shine through, so I can be everything I know that I could be, to find all the strength inside. Baby, just watch me fly. Now I have all I need to find the best in me. Well, isn't it time I open my mind and just believe? And it could all come down to this very moment. Yeah. When I leave the ground, you can watch me spread my wings and fly away, to make all my dreams come true, to let all the light shine through, so I can be everything I know that I could be, to find all the strength inside. Baby, just watch me fly. Now I have all I need to find the best in me. Oh, isn't it time I open my mind and just believe? Just believe. Well, isn't it time I open my mind and just believe?
Dear audience, families and friends of Class of 2020, AES faculty and administration, honorable members of the Board of Governance, our Board President Courtney Morris, our Director Jim Laney Jr., and most importantly, our students in Class of 2020. Welcome. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of Class of 2020 at the American Embassy School in New Delhi. My name is Iftikhar Hussain Saeed, and I'm the high school principal. One of the greatest Indian poets, Rabindranath Tagore, once said, "Everything comes to us that belongs to us, if we create the capacity to receive it." What I have observed in the last 4 years at AES from the Class of 2020 are their astonishing capacity to receive, and at the same time, their tenacity to give. Arts, athletics, activities and service, and academics. In all aspects of their lives, these students have achieved some of the highest peaks in AES's history. Many of the students in the Class of 2020 were born under the dark clouds of 9/11, and now they're graduating in the face of a global pandemic. What I can guarantee, though, about this young group of adults, that they are not here to be fearful of the future. Rather, they're here to shape it, and shape the future they will. As we go through this commencement today, my heart is full and my hope is high. I know each of you to be creative, funny, dedicated, intelligent, and kind. I know the perseverance that exists among this group of students. Today marks the start of a new journey for Class of 2020. We know you are ready. And more importantly, you know you are ready. Remember, the world is more malleable than you think it is. And it's waiting for you to hammer it into shape. We cannot fix every problem, but the ones we can, we must. I think of some words from an American theologian. As you go through life, I pray for you to have the serenity to accept the things you cannot change, the courage to change the things you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thank you.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I have been changed for good. It well may be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I learned from you. You'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And now whatever way our stories end, I know you have rewritten a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a skybird in a distant wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. And because I knew you, because I knew you, because I knew you, I have been changed for good.
Thank you for being here today, and welcome to the class of 2020's graduation. Each of our lives has changed since we last saw each other in March. Some of us had to pack up and leave at the last minute, not knowing if there'll be a chance to return, if there'll be a chance to see each other again. Others of us remained in Delhi, watching as cases rose, as national lockdown prolonged, and as our graduating class scattered across the world. But today is not about recounting what has happened to us in these 2 months. It is about recognizing who we have become over the last 18 years. It is about remembering the remarkable people who have shaped us. To our families, thank you. Thank you for forgiving our missteps and keeping faith in us, because your love and support has been the most beautiful constant in our lives. To our teachers, counselors, and administrators at AES, thank you, because you helped us find purpose and belonging here. You believed us capable of more than we knew, and you guided us towards that potential. And to our friends, thank you, because you found ways to inspire us, to make us laugh, and to understand us. A myriad of moments defined our time at AES. Winter mornings in the glass room in Tiger's Den, spring classes outdoors on the grass, watching theater productions, dance performances, musical concerts, and art shows come to life, fighting through Mizak tournaments and still pulling off the sportsmanship award, fleeting conversations between morning breaks, dances at a chocolate-themed junior prom, or dinners at mini course. It feels like we've been displaced from that life now, displaced into this tumultuous new reality where we've lost our footing, like the rest of the world in 2020. But then again, we have all known what it is to feel displaced. We came here, some of us feeling far from home, others of us having never called one place home to start with. But in those winter mornings and spring afternoons, those tournaments and performances, we created a place for ourselves. We began to define who we were. We surrounded ourselves with wonderful people. We found community in service clubs, sports teams, publications, arts initiatives. We found support in this school's brilliant, compassionate, and dedicated faculty and staff. Now, life seems to have displaced us again, 2 months too early. But we know how to create a place for ourselves because each of us did that at this school. We know that this displacement can be fought off, and we will fight this off as we enter our new realities. I know that doesn't take away the uncertainty about what those new realities will look like now, and it doesn't give us back our last 2 months of high school. But I like to think that AES has shown us it was never about how much time you had with people, and rather about how much you valued that time, how much you cared about those people. We hardly knew how long it would be before our friends, class groups, teams would disperse, before some families would move on to new countries and others would stay back. that didn't make our friendships and memories here any less real. And this doesn't make the experiences we've had as a grade any less defining, any less wonderful. Whatever community we find ourselves in next, and for however long we're there, we know we will take care of and value each other, because that's what we did at AES. The world we're about to enter into is so fractured. Old divisions, old prejudices, old tensions, they're flaring alongside this pandemic. But we know that these fractures are neither the world's destiny nor its potential. We know because we spent high school in a microcosm of the world. We've been brought together by being willing to listen to each other's stories and to tell our own. Stories we've lived out across cultures and countries. Stories of finding what we love, what we believe in, what makes us happy. Of course, our stories have changed since March, and they'll change again after today, just as they changed when we entered AES. But they remain ours. Ours to redefine as we fight off the feeling of displacement from the past 2 months and build community again. Ours to shape as we look out for one another, no matter how much or how little time we have before our lives diverge again. And ours to tell as we bring people together the same way we were brought together in this high school. These were not stories about the world we found ourselves in. These were stories about how we saw it, how we changed it, how we made something out of it. Each of us has already made something beautiful out of the world we've shared together at AES. And each of us will find a way to make something beautiful out of the 78 different worlds we enter as we leave this shared one. I know I am so looking forward to seeing you all in person someday soon and hearing about them.
Good evening, fellow graduates, faculty and staff, family, and friends. Most of you know me as a singer, so I thought I would sing my speech tonight. Welcome to graduate. No, I'm just kidding. When I first found out that we were going to have a virtual graduation, I was worried. I thought our graduation might turn out to be something like this. Or this. However, let me tell you, now I'm slightly relieved because, as Mr. Hicks wrote in his email to all speakers, I am not limited to standing behind a podium.
I can record my speech in outer space, or in the grass, or even at AES.
I guess there are some positives during this pandemic. Thanks, Mr. Hicks. I approached this speech exactly as I did the rest of my assignments in high school, including my EE and my Common App essay. Google, copy and paste, and tons of self-induced pressure. And, like most of my high school assignments, I went through several drafts because I was way over the word count. The first thing I did was search up the word salutatorian. Of course, I went with the most reliable definition, Urban Dictionary, which defines salutatorian as the person who just missed being valedictorian by a few GPA points. A very miserable person indeed. Second place is just the first loser. I also came across a video in which the speaker made quite an interesting simile. He said, high school is like a lollipop. It looks sweet on the outside, takes forever to finish, and sucks till the end. I hope you're proud of me, Ms. Patterson, for even using literary devices in my salutatorian speech. Can I get an A+ for that? But all jokes aside, after moving across 4 different countries, attending 3 different schools, AES has been one of the best communities I've had the privilege to be a part of. I truly feel that the graduates standing up here today, or rather, sitting at home on their couches during this ceremony, embody the joyful pursuit of learning and the enter to learn, leave to serve mottos that AES holds. We have come a long way since freshman year. Like the scrambled Rubik's Cube, we entered our first year of high school puzzled as we tried to figure out our place. Slowly, with some twists and some turns, we started to figure out which direction we wanted to go in, what we wanted to pursue, whether that be a specific academic subject, the arts, athletics, service, or numerous other passions we all hold. Our class is filled with diversity, not only in our cultural and ethnic identities, but in our interests as well. When I look back 4, 20, or even 50 years from now, I won't remember the tests I took or the grades I received, but I'll reminisce over the lunchtimes I spent goofing off with my friends, bonding with my teachers over our mutual hatred of the IB, seeing Naval's smiling face and hearing his jokes about how I don't eat enough, the adventures I've had on mini-course, and the sense of unity I felt when we gathered as a class and as a high school at assemblies to hear Mr. Syed say, "Happy Tuesday." And I'm sure you all have similar memories and moments that you will look back on fondly. I think that partly reflects the values we have imbibed throughout our time at AES. The importance of community, of relationships, and of holistic individual development. These are values that have not only enriched our high school experience, but that we can take with us to the future. Before you all get bored, throw tomatoes at your screen, and yell that I talk way too much and way too fast, which I've been known to do, I want to impart with you a few final messages. As we began to unscramble our lives piece by piece during high school, we went through a multitude of experiences. Whether it be the pastel pink freshman hoodies we ordered, the numerous memes about Mr. Syed, fighting for the golden plunger, and reveling in our grades, the best grades, victory during fun day, or even this virtual graduation ceremony, we have experienced it all together. And that has not stopped during the coronavirus pandemic. Even though we have missed out on prom, senior walkthrough, MESAC, senior dinner, senior lunch, and an in-person graduation, we have stood together as a class through it all. Although I'm sad to leave AES, I'm excited for what the future holds. The next few years may test us. We will once again find our pieces in the Rubik's Cube of life, all jumbled up as we leave high school to navigate the real world. However, I believe that the skills we have learned at AES, whether they be inside or outside of the classroom, will help and guide us. So thank you, teachers, parents, staff, and fellow graduates, for preparing me and all of us to unscramble our next chapter in life. One of the most important historical figures, SpongeBob, once said, "If you believe in yourself and with a pinch of magic, all your dreams can come true." I believe that with a positive mindset, as we approach our next steps, all the pieces will arrange themselves, just as the Rubik's Cube did. Thank you. And now I would like to invite each member of the Grade 12 Class Council to light the diya.
Dear graduates, proud parents, faculty, and guests, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Namaste to the American Embassy School's graduation ceremony in our main gym on May 23rd, 2020. My name is Jim Laney, and I'm the director of the American Embassy School, New Delhi. Together, we are proud of the accomplishments of our graduates. They would not be here without the support and encouragement you and many others have given them. One tradition we have for important ceremonies at the American Embassy School is to light our diya. The light of this candle represents learning and knowledge, and ultimately, wisdom. We often call this ceremony a graduation, but it is really a commencement, not simply conferring a diploma, but a beginning. Every beginning brings excitement and fresh potential. There is also an element of anxiety and loss, especially this pandemic spring. You are trading the known and comfortable for something new and challenging. What is familiar to you is in the rearview mirror, and the road ahead of you is unknown. Today marks a beginning in your life, and there will be many more in your futures. Step into that future with a joyful pursuit of excellence in all that you do. We hope that you have entered to learn and are leaving to serve as responsible, compassionate, global citizens. At this time, I also want to officially acknowledge that every senior has met the graduation requirements as approved by the Board of Governors. All of us can celebrate with confidence that the AES Class of 2020 is ready for this beginning, ready to commence the next steps in their pursuit of learning. Seniors, parents, and teachers, don't be sad it's over. Be glad it happened. Be glad it happened here at the American Embassy School, New Delhi.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I will deliver a brilliant speech called My Success Story. First of all, I want to give a big congratulations to everyone, including myself, for being here today on Zoom. The world we live in is plagued with danger. Dengue, global warming, lack of coal, poor air quality in India, and of course, coronavirus. And despite all the odds, we still managed to graduate. So let's give us a big round of applause. High school graduation is what we were dreaming of since watching High School Musical 3 senior year. Sadly, we won't have a grand graduation that we were dreaming of. But our class of 2020, was acknowledged as the most astonishing class ever in AES history. 2 wins of Fun Day, many first place in Mizak, some juniors got plus 1500 on the most irritating test in the world called SAT, and of course, no IB exams. Our grade thought this pandemic would soon settle down, but unfortunately, it did not, and led to us missing mini course, prom, mock exams, and once again, no IB exams. The last one makes me especially sad. Aww. Okay, now let's move on to the actually emotional part of this speech. You may not remember me when I was a freshman, but when I first joined this community, I barely speak English, and I carried my electric dictionary around everywhere I walked. And my parents and the school in Japan told me I only have 2 years to study English here in India. During summer vacation between sophomore and junior year, I called the school in Japan without getting permission from my parents and said to them, I'm not going back, because of how much I came to love this community and wanted to make more memories with fantastic people. Aww. Of course, there weren't only good memories in these 4 years. There were also many tragic things that happened to me, such as burning my shoes during group 4 trip, getting a leg cramp during a tug of war on Fun Day, breaking my phone screen at Fall Fiesta, and of course, the constant fear of being called in by Mr. Sai, even though I wouldn't know what I did this time. As everyone knows, I was not a genius, special, or quite as much of a model student like the rest of the speakers today. But I am honored to speak and celebrate this memorable moment of our life. I want to truly congratulate everyone today that together we managed to graduate high school. Even the student like me managed to do it because of the fantastic faculty members at AES and my friends who were supporting me these 4 years of my high school career. Some people might think that high school was a harsh time. Oh, no. It's just the beginning, guys. Now is our time to take on the world and to find and pursue our passion. William Shakespeare once says, leave a legacy. Many of the political leaders, even the Marvel superheroes like Captain America and Spider-Man, were once average human like us right now. And just think of the legacies most left behind. Even the student who couldn't speak English could graduate from American high school in 4 years. This is all to say that anything is possible in this world when we work hard and support one another. Of course, a big extreme to be an American president might be possible one day, and I truly support it. Class of 2020. I know nothing is probably worse than not having a proper graduation or a romantic night at prom. But I promise you, I'll look back on these days we spent together as the happiest time of our life. And from the bottom of my heart, I wish you all the very, very best. Thank you.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening to all of us watching this today. Wherever you are, I hope you and your families are safe and healthy. Though many of us have been dispersed around the world, the bonds we've created have held us in good stead. When I was writing this speech, I was stressed because I didn't know what to say. So, I sat down and thought about some of our shared memories. The first thought I had was about January 13th, 2020, our first day back for our last semester ever. First, I'd angered my mom the night before because I'd made mistakes while placing the order for the 78 donuts that were to arrive at my doorstep the morning of school reopening. Second, I wasn't particularly enthused at the thought of her showering me in rose petals and love the morning after disagreement. But as soon as we reached school, all lingering tension dissipated. It was a cozy scene of parents adoring their high school seniors, knowing and acknowledging all that we've accomplished these past 12 years, and hoping the best for our futures. When they were eagerly handing us roses or stuffing our faces with donuts, I wish we'd savored those moments a little bit more. It was the beginning of an abrupt end of our lives at AES. Looking back, we spent hours attending practices, whether for the arts or athletics, stressed out our teachers when submitting assignments to the IB, and watched as 14 romantic relationships began and some ended just this year. We said a tragic farewell to Iwana. We also said goodbye to some of our favorite teachers, friends, and family members who left Delhi to continue their journeys elsewhere. Yet, the root of our smiles and laughs could always be traced to one another as we came together on campus each day. Having said that, I think it's fair to acknowledge that we aren't exactly the most unified or homogenous grade. Whether it's Kabir bringing his homemade chocolate cakes to each one of his classes, Krishna being perfectly color coordinated each day, or G setting up his hammock wherever he could, everyone has the thing that makes them, them. Despite our differences though, the lunch period spent on the grass by Gate 1, hiding our food from the birds soaring above us, or the times in the breezeway while Sufyan played depressing music for all of us to vibe to, are the uniting memories that I leave school with today. So, while our grade does have its cliques, I don't think of any one of us as just one thing. We're multidimensional, and we aren't confined to a single stereotype. We can truly appreciate what it means to be in the joyful pursuit of becoming a citizen of the world. Outsiders are quick to assume that AES has a really calm and serene environment, and it does. Only when you aren't trying to manage your workload with attending MUN, NESET practices, service clubs, or the other innumerable time commitments we dedicate ourselves to. Sure, some weeks are tougher than others, and at times we do have the luxury of just watching Netflix or going out with our friends. More often than not, we're consumed by our schedules. Most things may be a choice, but nearly everything feels like an obligation. But there's a positive to the environment that we've grown up in. We want to achieve things that we set our minds to. To the teachers, counselors, and administration, thank you for providing us with these enriching opportunities and support. It's uncommon to find a faculty more dedicated to our overall enhancement, both as learners and people. The speech would most definitely be incomplete without me thanking my parents for their unconditional love and unwavering belief in me. Thank you for the tears, the laughs, and the motivational speeches, even when I didn't know I needed them. So, where does this leave us now? I'm not saying that we can survive anything that comes our way, because some of us were born either right before or right after 9/11, or because this pandemic has uprooted our routines in the milestone year of our lives. You'll see enough of those quotes on people's Instagram stories. No. I'm saying we can take on the future because of who we are and the unique experiences we've had. Today we can say we have entered as learners and find ourselves leaving to serve the world. So as I leave your screen, I'd like all of us to remember to fixate on the vision, but be flexible on the details for how to get there. I hope I'll be lucky enough to cross paths with you in the future and reminisce about the memories we've shared. Thank you.
Once in every life, there comes a time you walk out alone and into the light. The moment won't last, but then we remember it again when we close our eyes, like stars across the sky, like stars across the sky, Penang and Chile, Divine and Chile. We were born to shine. All of us here because we believe. Guarda mantiene voltati mai. Walk out alone and into the light, like twisted arms and verso il giorno che verrà. Gently close our eyes. Qualcuno è con te. We were born to shine. All of us here because we believe. All of us here because we believe.
American Embassy School graduating class of 2020. It is such an honor to be chosen by you to speak to you today. And today I wanted to talk about a subject that I think one of you would have loved in particular to debate with me. And that person is someone that should have graduated today. Iwana Matea, though you are no longer with us, your life and your message lives on. Because even in that short time, it was rare to see someone so young living so fully and so passionately. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, is what does that look like now. As you finish one chapter and begin another, in a time of great global uncertainty and loss on a scale that's difficult to comprehend, it's even more important for us to look inside and consider the choices and the power that we have, because there's much that we're powerless in the face of. There's much that we're in the face of that we're quite powerless against, right? Because if we had power and if we could control things, we would be together. We would be in the auditorium and it would smell amazing and it would be so exciting. And many of you would be wearing poor shoe choices. But instead, we're home. I'm wearing my house slippers. I have on yoga pants. This is not what any of us had anticipated. But this is what is. And so moving forward, in the face of things that we don't know, what do we know? And I think what we can know is ourselves and what makes us full. And I'm not using the word happy because that's not actually what I'm talking about, because happy and happiness is fleeting and ephemeral. And happiness is often determined by these external validations and external markers that I was speaking of. And I know that when I was in your shoes graduating, which I know seems like it was recent, but it was actually more than 2 decades ago, that I kept thinking that if I just accomplished this, or if I just got this, or if I just did this, then I would feel personal satisfaction or happiness. And I had moments of great happiness, right? Like college was awesome. And life after college was awesome. But it was also filled with setbacks and confusion and disorientation. Because wherever I went and wherever I traveled, there I was. So now we have this moment where we're not thinking about traveling anywhere. And some of our biggest choices are like, leggings or jeans. Leggings, obviously. Kitchen table or couch. Couch, come on. So let's think about some of those bigger internal choices that we actually do have power over. What makes us happy? Meaning, what makes us proud to be ourselves? So what I would like you to think about moving forward is defining for yourself what the good life is, and not letting any ad campaign or external accomplishment or material good bring you the sense of satisfaction that can come from just living a day your way. Oh God, I'm rhyming now. We're really in trouble. Because that's all we have is today. All we have is the present moment. And what this tragic global pandemic has taught us is that that's the only thing that we can guarantee is right now, that we don't know what's going to come next. So what we can do is live authentically to ourselves, to make choices that we believe in, to live by our truths and defend them, and to defend them, and to live a life that we can look back on and be proud of. Because all of us are already proud of you. So may you find what you're looking for, not anywhere else, but in yourself. Thank you and congratulations.
At this time, we will commence with the awarding of diplomas to our graduating seniors. They have fulfilled all the graduation requirements set by the AES Board of Governance. In just a few seconds from now, I will formally present the class to you as they move from being students to being AES alumni. Symbolizing that change is the movement of the tassel of their cap from left to right. As they move their tassel, at that moment, they are no longer a student at AES, but rather members of our adult community. This is a centuries-old tradition marking the exact moment of graduation, the end of adolescence, and the beginning of a more independent young adulthood. It is my deep pleasure and indeed my great honor to present to you the American Embassy School graduating class of 2020. Dear graduates, as we reach the end of this commencement ceremony, I would like to remind you of the quote that I read at the beginning. Everything comes to us that belongs to us if we create the capacity to receive it. As you step into your new journey, know that you will have to reinvent yourself to be successful. After today, as you face tomorrow, know that you have everything you need to change yourself and change the world around you for the better. Don't forget to dream. Don't wait to dedicate. Don't hesitate to demand, and always persevere. Know that you are loved. Congratulations again. Thank you and goodbye.
The best part of AES is our students, but I love our motto, enter to learn, leave to serve. You came to AES to learn and to prepare yourself for university and the world at large. Tonight's graduation is a celebration of your learning. Benjamin Franklin once said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest, and your hard work and dedication will pay interest for the rest of your lives. Now, as you leave AES, I hope that you leave to serve. As Gandhi said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. I wish you a lifetime of learning and service. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Class of 2020, congratulations, and thanks for a wonderful year. You already know that there's no single path to success, but sometimes it's easy to forget along the way. Do your best to be patient and persistent, flexible, courageous, and compassionate. Each of you has an amazing journey ahead. Be sure to enjoy it along the way. Farewell.